What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Thomas, their version of a masterpiece Astrotrain. So this just came out recently and I was lucky enough to get one. The way this is from Toy Dojo. They are a partner of mine and I appreciate them getting this to me so quickly. Eddie is awesome to do business with, so if you need to buy figures and you're looking for stuff like this, other Transformers, definitely hit up toydojo.com. Let's take a look at the collector's card, since I haven't been showing those recently. I want to show this one. So it's a little bit dark, but it's got Thomas on the front here. On the back you got the tech specs, and then you got that bio, which I've never really read any of them, but nice little card there. And here is the figure, really quite beautiful. Let's put the G1 cartoon over there and we'll do a quick 360. By the way, it's fully painted all the way around. Everything on this figure is painted except for the die cast, which is chromed, but here's that infamous back. So there's been a lot of complaining, a lot of reaction to this back. I'll tell you, in person, it looks really fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe down here it's a little unclean, but again, who looks at it from here? And second, it's pretty clean to me. I mean, there's not a lot. It's all compacts together and kind of covers down. I really like it. You do have an option here for display. If you want to put that up, you can use these boosters, but we'll talk about that more when we get to articulation. All in all, very good looking. He does come with quite a few accessories. So the first thing you get is this chest piece, and if you fold these out, you can attach that here. There's a little tab right there that's going to go into his chest. And it just fits right on like that, and then you can close these. There you have that toy accurate chest. I think it looks really good. I don't know, I might even display it like this, but it's really quite a beautiful figure. You also get the gun, which has the typical FansToys tab there. I guess it's all masterpiece, really. And there he is with his gun all figured. It looks really nice. Sometimes the hand moves, so if it does, you can just open up this panel here and just get it pressed back in. There you go, there's the gun. Nice looking gun. I think they did a good job with the sculpt there. No paint on it, just well, there is paint on it, but there's no accent paint on it. And then the last accessory you get is this alternate face. So let's first look at the face that's on there to begin with. So there's the standard face. Really nice. I'm glad they've gone back to using these metallic red for the eyes. I never really liked, I didn't understand why they went away from the metallic. So that's really nice. I like that. And then to change out the head or the face, you just pull down on this crest here. And you take that off, and then you take the head and push that up, pull on the face, it comes right off, and then you can put the other one in, and then you just replace that crest back in where you took it from, and there you go. There's the alternate angry yelling face. That looks really nice too. We'll leave that on for now, since I think that looks really good. And there he is next to Takara Tomy Megatron and the FansToys Road King, their version of Motormaster. So some people were saying, he looks a little too small. He comes right up to basically the bottom of his helmet here. I think it looks good. I like this size. I'm not sure why. I mean, if you look at the Sunbow cartoon, the scale chart, it does look like it's pretty close. I'll try to put that here so you can take a look at that. But for me, it's good enough. I don't need him any bigger. He is really, really hefty, but you obviously can't fit any other Transformers inside him in any mode. So that was not a realistic expectation. That's mass shifting from the cartoon. But anyway, I like the scale. Here you go. All right, let's go over his articulation. So the head is on a ball joint. It gets you up to there, down to there, and it rotates all the way around freely. Nice and tight. You get the shoulders rotate up to there, and they also rotate all the way around, and then obviously hindered by the wing, but it does go there. Rotation at the bicep. A double jointed elbow gets you, let's just leave that off. Gets you up to there, So you get a nice bend at the deep bend at the elbow. And again, all tight. Typical FansToys hand rotates at the wrist, and then you have 2 pins for each finger. So, and then the bolt onto your thumb. So you get plenty of movement, fully articulated hand there. Continuing down, you do get a waist rotation on a ratchet. It does go all the way around. No, I guess it doesn't go all the way around. It gets hindered a little bit here. But good enough. Goes far enough. No ab crunch on this guy. You do have an alternate configuration here and some articulation. So if you wanted to use these as a jetpack, you could. You can aim these downward, and then he's taking off with his jetpack, which is really nice. I like that. Or if you just want the traditional look, you just put those down and then fold that down. Continuing downwards, you have hip skirts, and you can get it up to there, 90 degrees, back to here, and then hindered by this backpack, but you can fold the backpack up, then you get a little bit more back. You get out to here, 90 degrees. Rotation at the thigh. It is a double jointed knee. I'll show you, there's one here and one here, but you don't really get past 90 just because of all the stuff that's there, right? So pretty much you get, I guess it's not double jointed. This joint doesn't move. So anyway, 90 degrees there. You get an ankle tilt that's this way, and then also this way. And then just one note here on the bottom of the foot, this is the front of the train. So when he comes out of box, he comes like that for whatever reason with the train light facing downwards. You don't want him to step on that because that's going to probably mar that plastic. So make sure you have the foot with this flat side down. Right. And the other thing that might be weird out of the box is these, but you can kind of put those however you like. I like to put it like that with the gray piece kind of matching up here. But you can display that however you want. I can't see anything in the book that tells you officially how to do it, so I'm not sure. I got QC 32. So that's really it for the robot mode. Really well done. Now let's get him transformed into his shuttle mode. And that is how the book tells you to do it. Go to shuttle mode and then to train mode. So I'm going to do it that way. I know others may prefer to go to the train mode first. It's up to you. You can do it however you like. Okay, so let's start with the arms. So get the arms rotated upwards like this, and it'll make it a little bit easier to work on. Open up these panels, and open up these panels, which might be a little hard. So you're going to need a spudger to just get in here. There we go. And yeah, that's definitely tight. Right, so go ahead and rotate the hand in, collapse this back down, fold this up, and then set that there. And that can just stay there for now. And then same on this side. Now that we get the arms taken care of, we can move on to the back here. So we're going to go ahead and take this backpack off. And you're going to unpeg from here if it hasn't already unpegged. Then go ahead and take this backpack, and it's just going to slide off and up and out, and you can just sit right here. And then we're going to unpeg the head. So we're going to pull back on this panel here. That's going to allow you to get the head downwards. Rotate the head around, and then fold these panels in and fold the head down, and leave it like that for now. We'll take care of that in a little bit. And what that does, and gives us some room to work on the arms. So go ahead and rotate the arms up like that, and then rotate them back so they sit towards the back of the robot, and then we're going to just have it upwards like this on both sides. Okay, and for now we can just leave that there. But that's gonna give us a little bit more space to work with on the chest. So you want to do that first, otherwise you're gonna have trouble working on the chest in the front. All right, so now that gives us some space. You can see there's a tab right there that's holding this chest, so just push it outwards this way, and that one came off. And then same on this side, push it outwards, and that'll fall downwards. You're gonna lift up on this chest piece here, panels down. We're going to slide them forward on these slider screws, and just gently, you don't need to put a lot of force. Basically just get it all the way back, and then you're going to peg it back in to the side of the body here, and it just goes very easily. You don't need to put a lot of force there. Same on this one. Now Paik mentioned that these are a little bit weak, and they may be, but if you're careful, you don't really need to worry about that. Just don't overdo it. There you go. And you can put that back down. Alright, so and then you can push this down. Alright, now we can work on these arms. So go ahead and you're going to slide these forward. You can see it's going to go up to there. It should slide forward. Just fold them up for now for just a second. And now we're going to fold this head inwards. You can see that's going to fit right in that cavity perfectly. Alright, put the arms back down. And we're going to bring this to the front and basically up and over, and it's going to sit like that. Right? Now we can peg these arms together. And just make sure they stay slid forward. Right? They've got to be slid forward. So these are going to peg together just like that. You can go ahead and get this up to the top, and go ahead and fold this part so it's flat. And now you can see how it's going to kind of come together. Go ahead and fold that up. This tabbed into here, and it is a little bit tricky, so I'm going to give you a little bit of advice on how to do it. So first, make sure this is folded up, and then push down a little bit here on the shoulders so that you know that this is all the way out as far as it goes. Okay? Then come bring this back over the top and make sure the front goes in first. Don't worry about the back until after you get the front in. Now that I get the front in, peg the back parts in. Okay, that's the sequence. If you don't do in that sequence, it's very hard to get this together. So I recommend you do it that way. Push it back a little, put the top in, and then the back. All right, and you can see I have no gap on either side. All right, now we can continue on with the rest of this guy. Go ahead and slide these wings back and just leave them there for a minute. Put to care of the legs. And the legs are probably part of the more complicated part here. So go ahead and open up the hip skirts. And you got this little ingenious flipping tab here. So go ahead and do that now before we forget. And that's what gives you the little design in the train mode. I like that a lot. That they made that happen. All right, so go ahead and open up the legs here. And on the back, go ahead and open up this panel if it hasn't already opened. And there's a nice die-cast button here, back in the old school, kind of like Phoenix. And when you press that, these hips are going to drop down and come together. Okay. And now we can work on the leg. So go ahead and open up the leg. You're going to release this panel. You're going to get this whole thing folded away. And the first time you do this, it might be all really tight, so just be careful. These panels are a little bit thin, especially right here. So I would be very careful as you're folding this. Make sure you hold this. Don't leave it without any support. Go ahead and fold this foot down. That's going to be flat. And then we're going to push the leg and collapse it. And then we're going to accordion the leg down until it sits flat like that. And you'll feel it it'll fit perfectly below the hip skirt there. All right, now that you got that, you can go ahead and close this down, and then close this down, and it's going to tab in right there on the inside of the leg. And it should fit fairly perfectly. Here we go. And then leave this up for now because we're going to have to take care of that in a little bit. Alright, so exact same thing on the other side, so I'm just going to do that off camera. Right, now that you have the legs squared away, go ahead and you can squeeze them together. So you can squeeze the front of the rocket together and then the legs, and it should all sit on here. Here you go. And you can close these hip skirts now. Alright, now we're going to take care of the sides here. So this is interesting. Go ahead and fold this upwards. It's going to give you a little room to work. And fold this down. And you can see that's going to start forming the side of the train. So in order to get this slid properly, fold this flat and then push it down, and that'll allow you to get it all the way down. And now it should fit right into there. There's a little slot on the side of the wing, and it fits right in. And it basically butts up against the wheels. All right, now we can get that whole side in. So you're going to fold this down. Just leave this up because that's going to end up going back here. But all right, so fold this panel down onto the side, and you can see that's going to make the side of the shuttle. And if you don't have these wings all the way back, just put them all the way back now. And this is going to peg into the side, so you got to get that down into there. There we go. So it should be a little bit of gap there, like that, where it's not, totally lined up. It's sticking out a tiny bit. That's how you know if you got it right. Go ahead and take this panel. That can just get out of our way right now. And just leave that there like that. So that's nice and out of the way. Alright, and then you're going to take this wing, and that's going to peg into the back right there. And it also has to peg on the bottom. So peg it in there, open up this just filler piece there, and then this is going to accordion back, and that tab you see right there, it's going to fit into that slot. So that's kind of what's holding the wing together back here. There we go. So you should have something like that when you're done. Okay, so that's one side done. Basically do the exact same thing on the other side. Ooh. Yeah, make sure you have all these tabs in, and if they're not in, just give it a nice squeeze. Should get them in there. Alright, so repeat that process on this side and get the other side of the wing in. Now, I want to show you something that potentially could screw you up, so that you're aware of it. So you really want these train track, or I guess the train, whatever, the thing that holds the wheels together to be all the way up, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time pegging in the sides. And I think that has been screwing people up, so they couldn't get these sides tabbed in. If you pull those up, then it's a lot easier to press these sides in because they're supposed to tab in here. So if you're having that problem, that's probably what it is. It's probably because you haven't done that, right? Oh, we probably should have rotated these as well. Okay, now you can push it all together. Should sit nice and flush and together. Okay, so now we're getting to the finish line here. Go ahead and flip it over. You can bring this down. It's just going to fit over and peg in. There's two tabs, one here, and they're going to slot into there. Just like that. And sort of the finishing touch here, you can just straighten these out. Or you can put them however you like. Fold this tail back. Fold this other tail, the front of it back, and then peg them together. And we'll clean it up. And here we have Thomas in his shuttle mode. And this thing looks incredible. It's very impressive. There is a landing gear here in the front. There's a little tab you can grab on, but if you can't get that, then go ahead and use the spudger, but I think I can get it. There you go. So go ahead and get this landing gear out. The back landing gear are already out, so you can see there's a wheel right here and right here. So if you set it down on those wheels, it does roll. Surprisingly, I thought it might not, but it rolls pretty smoothly. All in all, pretty clean, pretty nice. It does look a lot. Let's actually put the G1 cartoon over there so you can take a look. And I think they did an amazing job representing the shuttle. So he does have a little bit of storage, so you can take the gun, you can fold up this handle here, and then you can see there's a tab right there on the side. You can actually put this into that tab, and then you've got his gun on the side stored away. That's kind of cool. He does have flaps here. There's no purpose for this other than for this mode. So I'm not really sure why they put the flaps. I guess just to make it look more realistic or something. I don't know. But those flaps are not needed for transformation. We never end up bending those. So I really don't know why they put the flaps in, but they're there and they look cool and you can pose them if you want to. Here he is with a few other figures. So I've got the FansToys Magnum, their version of Wild Rider, and I've got the MMC Fraudo, their version of Swindle. And I mean, Swindle looks a little too big, but I do like this scale. Obviously the shuttle is way bigger, and here they're, you know, it's never going to scale, honestly, especially because the robot mode is about the same, is, you know, less than Megatron. But I think they look good together. I like the styling, and I like the detail here. You can also use him with his display base. So let's just set this aside. Here is the tracks. So you want to open this up here, open this up. Actually, it's down here. You'll see there's a little piece that comes out. And it does get a little tricky because sometimes you can't see it, but it's right here. So you fold that down, and then on this side, you're going to push out these little panels here. And you can use a spudger if you need one. Pull these out. And then those are going to fit down into here. And then last thing you can do is flip up this little piece right here. And that's just going to sit straight up like that. And those are going to peg into the bottom of his shuttle. Just going to get those pegged in to the bottom. There you go. And there he is on his flight stand. Pretty cool. You can actually have him go up a little bit more if you wanted to be, you know, taking off. But that looks really beautiful. I love the use of these train tracks. I think they really had a good engineering there to think about that and make the tracks usable in, you know, almost all three modes. So there you go. I'm going to get him into his train mode, and that'll be the last mode here. So go ahead and take the gun off the side there. Wow, that really pegs in very securely. All right, so we got to kind of undo all the things we did before. So go ahead and unpeg this piece from the wings, and that's going to free up this, and go ahead and fold that little panel inward. And that's going to allow us to basically take all this off again. Unfortunately, you got to take everything apart. So we're going to undo this panel here that we put back earlier, and that can fold upwards, and get this back down and then fold it over, right? And open up this panel here, get this slid all the way down so it's flush, have this piece sticking out like that, and just leave that like that for now. Okay, and then do the same thing on this side. And now we got those kind of up here. We're going to take care of all of this stuff in here, and it's going to take a little bit doing. So go ahead and open up these hip skirts. Just gives you a little bit of room. We're going to detach this whole front section. So we got to get his, and you can use a spudger if you need one to get this separated. Go ahead and pull this out, and that's going to free him up to be opened up here. Okay. Right, so go ahead and lift this up. Lift up on this panel. We're going to get this folded in because that's going away. We're going to fold his foot back out. That's going to be the front of the train. All right, next we want to extend this leg back out. And then we're going to get this back into his leg here. So go ahead and fold that in, and it should fit right over where it was before. Just like that. Okay. So that side's ready. So next we got to do this side. So go ahead and do the same thing over here. All right, now that you get both legs squared away, you can get them pushed together. So peg them together. You can start at the front again and then work your way backwards so you get it all pegged. And make sure it's all straight too. So you're gonna obviously make a train here, right? So flip this the other way, and that's kind of helps you orient a little bit. We're going to rotate this panel down and all the way around. And you can start to see the train forming here. Underneath, you're going to take this panel here, and that's going to rotate all the way down this way. And make sure it's slid all the way forward. Otherwise, this is not going to line up. Right, and then this panel is going to peg in to the bottom of his foot. And it is a very interesting transformation. I really like the way this works. Right, so there's one side. Again, make sure this is slid all the way forward, otherwise it won't be in the right position. Okay, same on this side. Flip that down, flip this down, make sure it's slid all the way forward, fold this down, peg that in. These should line up. If you don't have them line up, that means one of them is not slid forward. So you should have the skid or the sled, whatever, together. Okay, so we're getting to the home stretch here. Don't fold this down just yet. You need to do a little bit more before you can fold that down, but you can at least put the first one down. Okay, so go ahead and fold that down. Fold the inner wing into his chest and fold this down so it sits like that. And now we're going to take these wings, fold them in half, and you can see that's going to tab in right there on his tail fin. So make sure you have that slid all the way back, so it's going to push in here, and then you're going to push it into here. Make sure you do in that order, because otherwise it'll be a little bit harder to push this in. All right, same thing on this side. Push in here first, and then come to the bottom and push this in here. Okay, and you can always just check it, make sure it's snug. So now I'm going to take care of this piece here. So go ahead and fold this panel up, fold this panel out, and then fold the entire panel forward. And we're starting to see how this is going to come together. Really quite ingenious. There is a tiny little panel in here, and again, you're going to need a spudger to get it out of there, but it's just a little tiny filler piece. So that piece right there. Right. Right. Now we can work on the other side. So go ahead. Same thing on this side. We got both sides folded out. We're going to take care of the last little piece here to get it all pegged in. So open up this piece here, and you'll see there's a peg here, and it's going to go into the side panels here and here. And it is a little bit tricky. Oh, we forgot these. So go ahead and fold these out. You might need a spudger. Yeah, don't forget about that, because that's going to make it much harder if you don't have those panels. All right, now you can get that peg down. And you can see my... Oh, I'll talk about that in a minute. This piece tends to fall off, but it's not a big issue. All right, so push this down, and you're going to see this is going to peg down in. And it is a little tight. Make sure you have both sides in. And same for this. Peg that all together. Here we go. And you might have to give it a little extra squeeze. And you can see these came out again, so just rotate them to the bottom and get them pegged in again. Same on this one. This one came out too. That's why I sometimes recommend doing that last, because it might come out on you. And then the last little piece here, and so this falls off. This is a little die-cast piece. It doesn't hurt anything. You may want to just put some floor polish so it'll stay in there, but that's not a big deal. All right, now final piece, go ahead and open up these panels here, pull them outwards on a slider. It could be a little tight the first time. Rotate it down and then push it back in. It's going to peg in right there and in the front as well. Same thing on this one, pull that out and then peg it in the front and back. And it should go nice and flush with the sides. And we just check this out here. And last but not least, get your train tracks and set him on those train tracks. The wheels do fit right in between those train tracks. And there you have Thomas in his train mode. And what an unbelievable train. These wheels do move. You got to kind of move this together. You can't get all those wheels. You can also just roll it with your hand. So if you roll them together, it does move the track. Sometimes it gets stuck, but you can move the tracks together. There are wheels that move independently. This front one in the front, one in the back. You got to get them right in the tracks, but it does move. All the wheels roll. Yeah. And then same for this one. You can move those tracks. Really beautiful. A lot of detail on here. If you want to store the gun, you can take the gun, and it does peg in right here on the front. So you're just gonna put it, oh, sorry, this way. And that's just gonna peg in and stay right there. What a nice feature. Right, so really beautiful. Let's look at some of the details here. You've got this yellow light on the front. You've got those train tracks, not tracks, the train wheels that look really good. They don't necessarily roll together unless you make a concerted effort. Oh, we were supposed to flip this around. Oh, there we go. I didn't know I could do that after the fact. Let's flip these around before we forget. There you go. Sorry about that. But just an absolutely beautiful. I love that the rockets still show up on the back. It's just so well done, so G1. Hopefully we just showed you the cartoon in the corner already, but really, really well done. That's really it for the train mode. I do like this translucent glass here on the back. I think that's a nice design. But overall, pretty well done. So we're gonna get this guy transformed back into robot mode, and then we'll do final thoughts. So final thoughts on this guy. Let's start with the positive. So it is really beautiful in all three modes, and that's very hard to do for a triple changer. Very often when you get a triple changer, one of the modes is kind of whack, and then the other two are good. This is good in all three modes. Very impressive. It has a lot of paint. It's basically covered in paint. There's nothing that's not painted. You get some nice accessories. You get an option here for the toy display. In fact, let's just put that on there. You get an alternate face, which is on there. You got that yelling face, which is really cool. A lot of good things about this figure. A couple of negatives. So there is a little bit of unsightliness on the back. I don't mind at all. I don't look at my figures from there, but if I did, it's still not that bad. There's a lot of panels that kind of cover up and look good. I do like this a lot. I like the flexibility to be able to show it with a jetpack if you wanted to. I love the track feature. You know, this track is very versatile. You can use it for basically all three modes. Really, two modes is what it's intended, but I made it work in all three modes. The gun looks good. The weapons are good. My only other complaint, if I had to have anything to complain about, is some of the panels and tabs are a little too tight on first transformation, and I think that's going to cause some people to break stuff. Now, Pake for Life did a review on this already, and he ended up stripping that screw and breaking that screw. Because he showed us that, I was very careful with that, but now that I know how it transforms, I can see how people might break that if you pull on that too much. So I haven't had any issue, haven't had a single thing break, any QC problem. I haven't had any issues other than this little tiny train piece falls off, but you can put it right back in and it stays. So for me personally, I love this. I highly recommend it. It's the best masterpiece Astrotrain we've ever gotten. So that's really it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'm doing this as a premiere. So if you want to ask questions, you can ask then, or you can write in the comments below and I can answer you then. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.